Hello everyone and welcome to my final presentation, which is a reflective presentation for project study. In this presentation we'll be looking at what the task was, what my role in the task was, how the expo went, what was positive and negative about working in a group, what I learned and what I'd do differently next time. The task was a group task. It was me, Gary, Barry, Terry. We chose to compare and contrast the marketing strategies of Tesco and Ocado. In term 2 we were writing an interim report, which involved actually writing the report and researching for that report and the final report in term 3. In term 3 we had to write that final report, and also we had to research the marketing strategies for Tesco and Ocado so that we could write it. In particular, we thought this was important to choose Tesco and Ocado because of their high market share, according to Jones, and their high profitability compared to other online food brands, came from Day. Because if you're going to look at campaigns, you might as well check the most successful companies to get the best insights into marketing. And as part of this, I had my own role. So in term 2, I was writing the project management section, and I was doing some of the research for Tesco and Ocado. In particular, Ocado, I was looking at their social media presence on Instagram and Snapchat and so on. In term 3, I was writing the results and the discussion sections of the final report, proofreading my team members' other sections, and I was researching Ocado's use of online advertising and sponsored ads on YouTube. As part of all this, we had to do an expo in week 4 of term 3. And generally it went quite well. Like, we could answer all the questions. There were no uncomfortable silences. The teachers asked a question, we answered it, and that was okay. However, we probably could have given more in-depth answers that were satisfied the teacher more, and that would have involved better preparation. We didn't do a lot of preparation, in particular of our resources. And this is shown because our best question was, what was the project about? Which was easy to answer because we'd been working on it. But what the hardest question was, what is the most important resource? Which was difficult because we'd all looked at different resources and we hadn't really collated them together in order to see who was doing what and to give a good, thorough answer. This was part of the learning process, I suppose, of working in a group. And for me in particular, I think working in a group, the important thing, or the best thing in the end, was communication. Because me and my team, once we got our communication going, we stayed in contact. We messaged each other weekly on WhatsApp. We also met once a week regularly on Thursday mornings, and this gave us a lot of an easy, calm time making our report, because if I had a problem, I knew I could message Barry, Gary or Terry, and I knew they would get back to me, and I knew that we would get an answer quite quickly and we could move on. But however, the kind of negative thing, and this comes from communication too, is that at the beginning we were a bit shy, we were a bit unfamiliar with each other, we weren't really friends in the class, and so there was a lot of uncomfortable silences in the class, and also I was scared of sending a message to them in case I seemed too keen, and I was always worried if they'd reply, or if they liked me, if they wanted to meet or anything. This of course made the whole process stressful and kind of annoying at the beginning, and I didn't do much work, and so it meant the project didn't get going until a little bit later. But I kind of learned this was interesting in that we did some research on this, and I learned from Thompson about how this is kind of typical in communication, and you have to learn to communicate effectively, because quite often, according to the research, people in groups are unfamiliar with each other at first, and only by working together and kind of forcing yourselves to work together can you improve the communication, and that was certainly true for us. So in future, in order to get this communication going better, I would immediately arrange how to communicate. I'd say, let's get a WhatsApp group going, let's meet on Thursdays, let's get communicating. And after that, I would just bombard them with messages so that it's a normal thing that we're communicating. That way they could also feel that they could communicate with me too, and we could get going with the project more quickly. So in conclusion, our task was to look at Tesco and Ocado and to write our interim report and final report. My role was writing and researching mainly, and I learned, that communication is difficult at first, and that you need to kind of force it, but it can be satisfying in the end when you do communicate and you get the project rolling. So it's an important thing that needs to be done and sorted early. Here are my references, Day, Jones and Thompson, and thank you very much for listening.